Hey everybody, welcome back. It's part 2 of this, whatever it is we're doing, talking about video games.
Do you think this? We've got a suspicion. Well, I've got a suspicion. This half could go faster because we've got the weirder letters here, where you'd
That's
think there
true.
might be a bit of a stretch to get
That
some
is
of them.
true. I just noticed as I was turning on this computer, because the background that was currently set for this computer was an official background from Kingdom Come Deliverance
Yes,
2.
I-
And because of Knights of the Old Republic,
Yeah.
I wasn't even able to talk about Kingdom Come
I
Deliverance.
thought you might, and yeah,
I know, it's a really, really good game.
but yeah, KOTOR definitely wins.
I mean,
for you.
yeah, KOTOR has to win, but I'm just saying. It's
So
a
we got as
fantastic
far as
game.
M.
I don't want people to think I'm stuck in the past when it comes to games.
No, that's a good point. I'm good. Let's take a look. I'm gonna see. So let's see. Quick recap. Alice Madness Returns. I'll call that a middle game. That's not early.
2011?
That's not late. Yeah, 2011
Sorry, everyone
is
who's too
officially
young.
middle. BioShock. That's not a nostalgia game.
No, but
middle.
it's 2009?
7, I think.
7.
Yeah.
That's
Crash
pretty old.
Bandicoot 2. That's nostalgia. Dragon Age Origins. No, these are
That's
officially
2009.
middle. Channel Arms. Middle. Forgotten City. That's recent.
That's recent.
Guacamelee.
That's old.
I want to call that recent.
But it's not. I bet you Guacamelee came out in
It's like
2014
2016.
or something. Guacamelee came out in, are we playing along at home? 2013.
Oh, okay, that's an official middle. Hades was 2018, I think.
Yeah, that's
fine.
That's relative.
That's
I mean, that's only coming up to 8
years
years
ago.
old.
Inscription, that's recent enough. Jetpack, that's mega old.
83.
Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories.
That's pretty old.
It's pretty old, but it wasn't nostalgia.
No, it wasn't nostalgia.
Played it as an adult.
We're also old enough when it comes to
But
video games.
But also, we played that only a few years ago.
That is true. That was an adult game.
Yeah, Twilight Princess, that's middle. Minesweeper, that is old. I don't have that many nostalgia games on
But
here.
we could have had more new ones because, but sometimes they don't come to mind straight away because they're new. I've got some vaguely new ones in this list, but not many. Some of these are very old.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? My second half is a pretty mixed bag as well, I'd say. There's definitely still a decent chunk of games like Guacamelee where it's no, that wasn't part of my childhood. That counts as a new game, even though it's
That's
10
true.
years old plus.
We still play new games. We're playing them all the time.
Of course.
All right, but this is not talking about those letters that we've just covered, K's and G's and things like that. This is the second half of the alphabet. We're starting from N and we're moving on to Z,
Yep.
talking about video games. Video games, there's no real criteria to what, this isn't our favorite video games.
Nope.
There's just a video game we wanted to talk about that starts with that letter.
We did like them.
We did like
enjoyed
them.
playing them. I haven't got anything on here that I didn't like.
None of these are games that we don't care about at all. And they're all games we've played.
Yes. Okay, how passionately do you care about your end game?
I like our end game. I could talk about N for a long
Ooh,
time.
all right.
My end game is actually a million games.
What? That's
Uh,
outrageous.
Because I have picked for N, Nancy Drew et al.
Okay.
I picked every single Nancy Drew game, or any Nancy Drew game. If you'd like, we can choose Nancy Drew, then the Curse of Blackmore Manor, or whichever one it's called, right? But the Nancy Drew games, we never played these when we were young. A lot of people did. These were like part of a lot of people growing like childhood games. We started playing them, I mean, probably like 7 or 8 years ago now, on Twitch. We started live streaming all the Nancy Drew games. We've other than the one that just came out recently, we have live streamed every single Nancy Drew, and we had a huge amount of fun. They've got a real charm to them. They are puzzle mystery games. They have a really fun classic, like similar to something that I don't know whether it's gonna make our list today,
Ooh.
but like Professor Layton in terms of like you have still images of the world you're moving through, and you click by jumping from still image to travel around the world.
And then conversation.
And you have
People
conversations.
can give you jobs and
You get a
puzzles
lot
to
of
do.
chores to do because you're just a teen girl, and it's great. They're really fun. Are they brilliant?
It's kind
Some of them are not.
Look, it's kind of like the inverse of Myst, where people who played them in their childhood love them, have wonderful memories, but then if you go back and play them as an adult, you find all of the
But we
horrible,
only
horrible
played them as
flaws.
an adult, and we had so much fun.
They're still great fun.
Some of them are not good, but we had so much fun with them. And again, this is really just a way to plug you going to our YouTube archive and watching all of those streams, because you can go to Play This Game archive on YouTube and you can find all of them. but it was a huge amount of fun.
Play the games yourself first if you have them or you have an opportunity, because there's nothing more fun than playing the game, getting through the puzzles, and then watching someone else struggle through the puzzles.
But I loved them. I think they have such a charm and such a very clear visual look, to the point where we recently streamed a new game that was just completely trying to do that gameplay and just being like, this is a new Nancy Drew, but without the IP.
And that was exactly what they intended it to be.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't
It was
a
a love
mistake.
letter to
It
these
was a
games.
deliberate, but it's so iconic because it's not like
You can feel
it's a
it.
love letter to any other type of game.
No.
It's just the Nancy Drew games. They're really fun, and they're great. And hey, if you're Her Interactive and you're listening to this, hire us and we'll write the next one.
Easy.
Okay, that's my N. It's a whole bunch, but I think I'm very happy with it. What's your N?
My N is, I do believe, my first ever RPG.
Your first ever RPG.
Yep. Does that?
Well, it's
at
not going to
all
be
help?
Neverwinter Nights.
No, it wasn't Neverwinter
Oh,
Nights.
Danny!
What?
I don't have Holy Magic's entry on this list.
Yeah, I thought you
I put
might.
Heroes of Might and Magic
Yeah.
instead. Oh, sorry, go on. I could still fit it in for
Quest
Quest 64, but I've got
I thought
a different.
that you might.
I didn't though.
I knew that Q was going to be a toughie for you.
Sorry, we're
All
getting ahead of ourselves.
Well, anyway, yeah,
you,
my N.
first ever RPG
Mhm.
that you played.
It probably won't be what you're
It's not
thinking
the
of
Heroes
even a
of
little
New
bit.
Earth. It's not
That doesn't start. No, okay.
nonograms. Danny, a nonogram is not an RPG.
Much like Minesweeper, this one's a bit of an odd pull. NeoQuest.
NeoQuest. Oh, if you are not the exact age that we are,
This may mean
Neopets does not
nothing
mean
to
as
you.
much to you as it does to us.
So on the website Neopets, the thing that is
Do you need to
about...
do a rundown? Yeah, a rundown of what Neopets is.
Neopets is I don't know what it is anymore. It
Oh, that's true. It
may
got weird.
have adjusted itself. I feel like the advertising just piled on and on and on, and now I'm not sure what exists.
It was a massive sensation in the early 2000s.
It was an online simulated sort of universe that revolved around you acquiring pets in a similar to Pokemon style way, but battling was of much less importance. What was more important was getting points, like money.
You had a pet, you had a Neopet, and you could buy it things and give it things and feed it things and train it.
But all that mattered was getting lots and lots of points.
And there was so many games to play.
You had a bank for your points. It was your money. It got you interest.
If you haven't been on Neopets, the thing that you have to remember is it wasn't a game. It was a website. Like, you would be just clicking through hyperlinks and going from page of website to page of website. They'd load in. It was all just
And this was in the early 2000s
browsers.
that we played, which means that internet was not good enough to
Yes,
handle this
you had
sort
to
of
wait
thing.
30 seconds for like loading a page of text. But it's not like it was in its own game. It wasn't like it had games in it, but it was a web space.
So
it's something that doesn't really happen anymore.
And this
It's
was
really
the
fun.
thing. There was a specific section of the website that was, hey, here's all the Neopets games that you can play. And a lot of them were just Neopet skinned card games and things
or
like
Snake,
that.
but instead of Snake, it's a Neopet.
Exactly. And you could get points from playing those.
That probably had Minesweeper, but it was called Neosweeper.
What was it called? I can't remember. But yeah, absolutely. And yeah, you could get points from that. So obviously, because I wanted to max out my points, you have certain games and certain activities that you played every day to get as many points as possible. NeoQuest, I don't think was a points-y one. It was, however, an RPG.
What type? Like a text-based RPG kind of game? Or
No,
I don't remember NeoQuest.
It had images and battling. The problem was it was just like you are moving around a map and like finding items to get to the next location, and you have a goal to, I don't know, defeat an evil sorcerer or something. And so you are just move around the map. Oh no, you've encountered a big evil eagle monster. Your team now has to fight this evil eagle monster. What moves are you going to use? How strong are your moves? All that sort of thing.
That's great.
The problem was, again, all of this is click-based. Every single movement that you make on this gridded map, like, okay, I want to go
load a whole
left.
new web
I
page.
want to go left 10 spaces. You have to press the left button. The page will load again. Press the left button. The page will load again. It was
Oh, that's so bad.
wild.
I love it.
I still remember that one of my characters, the strongest move ever, maybe only in the early game, I don't remember, was Astral Maelstrom.
I love an Astral Maelstrom.
The way that I learned the word Maelstrom. And yeah, it was clearly the first.
I learned Maelstrom
RPG that I ever
poorly as a
got.
word.
Okay.
I think I always learned Maelstrom as just a storm. There's just
I
a
mean-
mail. But isn't it technically a whirlpool? Is a maelstrom?
It
It has to be, or like it has to be like a whirlpool at sea, and that, or a storm at sea that creates a whirlpool. But it can't just be like you can't be walking down the road and be like, "Whoa, it's a real maelstrom."
No, I definitely get oceany vibes
Yeah.
from it. But Strom is just German for what?
Storm?
Electricity? Maybe?
Okay, that's all. I just thought I'd talk about
Mm.
maelstrom for a second.
Yeah.
I think this is the first one on the list that isn't a recommendation. I don't think anyone needs to go and play NeoQuest, right? Or do they? Should people try and play NeoQuest?
Look,
Is it even possible?
If it still exists, I can't tell you whether it's good or bad, but it's certainly interesting. And I think, like, I'd go back and play Arena and Daggerfall and all the things where the really, like,
That's true.
the origin points of these style of
Well,
games.
then you should all play.
Now that the
NeoQuest.
internet can handle it, if it exists, it could be great.
I wonder if you can. I have no idea what Neopets is like nowadays, if it even exists at all. It got really big.
Yeah.
You get a McDonald's and get a Neopet.
It was, yeah, it really started to tie in to everything.
Yeah, they really realized you can make a lot of money with this
Let's
stuff.
find out. Neopets, NeoQuest, Games Room NeoQuest. Only available at off-peak hours? What?
Okay, that's weird. We got to move on, Danny. We got to move to the next.
Are you kidding? I'm
next letter.
fascinated.
No, we can't figure out the mystery of NeoQuest live on air. So anyway, let's go to O.
Okay.
Danny, what is your O? I would like to say for my O, I didn't put Outer Wilds because
Nor did I.
obviously you should all be playing Outer Wilds. Already you should. It would be silly for us to talk about Outer Wilds. If you're a puzzle
unless you're
person,
me.
yeah,
It just like,
you should at least give it a go.
if you have my very specific hang-ups that aren't even gaming hang-ups in part, like sometimes just world hang-ups.
Yeah, it was never going to work for Danny, but it's a great game. But I'm not going to talk about it because I don't want to talk about Outer Wilds.
I went with Overcooked.
I went with Overcooked.
Ah,
I was
mean-
going to go with Played Up at some point.
Yes.
But Played Up is just.
He was a very competitive letter.
But Played Up is also just the next step of Overcooked. Overcooked really created this as a world.
I see them very differently from one another.
It's basically Played Up as if someone saw Overcooked and went, I need this to be a little bit more serious. I need it to be a little bit more goal-oriented and long-term and roguelike-ish.
Yeah. So I have a couple of games on here that, for me, are the games that are for the fun, screamy chaos that remind you that games are stupid sometimes. And that's okay. You can embrace
Yeah.
the stupid
And it's a
and
great-
just have one of those horrible laughing fits.
Yeah, Overcooked, if you haven't played it, it's a multiplayer focused game of you need to run this kitchen, but the kitchen is wacky and ridiculous, and you are not a good chef, and you're just chopping things up on the counter and throwing them at each other to put them into pots.
And fires will happen everywhere.
You're getting all these orders coming in, but you're on a ship that's sliding left and right, so sometimes your stove slides off
have
to
to
the
throw
side. And
onions
you have to
at
run
each
after it.
other.
You're in one ship cooking. You're in one car cooking burritos, but all the onions are in a different car. So when it drives up near you, the people in that onion car have to quickly throw all the onions at you, and then the car drives away. It's weird and ridiculous, and I feel like it's the thing that started a focus in that type of genre of let's get you doing weird stuff. So there's like Moving Out and all these and like Played Up and all these other games that are you are a person who doesn't have the best control of
It is
things.
Gang Beasts.
and things are
finish
chaos.
that, 'cause it feels very Gang Beasts-y to me, except that in Gang Beasts you're against each other.
You're fighting
rather
each other.
than
But yeah, it has,
as a
I think,
team.
again, similar vibe, and I think that came after Overcooked.
Okay.
Overcooked is great. It is a very fun one to play. Don't take it too seriously. You'll fail. It's fun and silly and
No,
and great.
you are not trying to win. You are trying to survive.
Yeah, but it's a lovely game and one that we played together a lot. And there's a sequel. We played that.
If you want achievement and not to scream at each other in a fun way, then it's more Played Up than Overcooked.
Played Up is about running a restaurant well with the same
It's-
wacky, ridiculous.
Yeah, the mechanics are not
me-
anymore
the mechanics are
like,
almost
serious
identical.
restaurant running. It's still light, fun restaurant.
Oh, it's silly, but yeah,
Love Played
but
Up.
the mechanics are very, very similar. But that is a great game as well. But I didn't put it for P, so I thought I'd put Overcooked for O.
Yeah.
That was easy.
It was
Now-
very, very agreeable. P was
I-
very difficult.
P, there are a lot of games that work for P.
I didn't pick Professor Layton. I didn't even pick a Pokemon.
There's Pokemon, Professor Layton, huge, grand series with lots of good entries and some bad entries. What did you put for P?
I went with again, a standard RPG / platformer / puzzler. It has all of it.
Ooh.
Paper Mario, the Thousand Year Door.
Danny is a huge Paper Mario fan.
I adore especially Thousand Year Door. It's very special.
That was the one they just did a re-release of,
It
right?
was.
And you played again.
Oh, yes. Of course I did.
They are great. They're I feel like they're the descendants of the Super Mario RPG on the SNES.
Which I've only played a tiniest bit
Which
of.
sort of created that whole world of Mario combat-y, quick time event RPG stuff that went into Paper Mario.
It was
went
the first time that I encountered like turn-based combat where you could react to things inside the combat, which has now, like, you can see that in Clair Obscur.
Yes.
You can see that in the South Park games.
Yes.
You can see that in a few different
Lost
places
Odyssey,
right now.
a whole bunch of RPGs have done this sort of thing.
But yeah, this was my first encountering with it. I love how they play with how Paper Mario just plays with the paper aspect of it. And it gives you abilities to do things and tricks you in ways that you have to remember. You and everything in this world is 2D. And
is that the one that allows you to
it's clever.
sometimes go 3D?
No, that's Super Paper Mario.
But they're funny as well. They're usually well written
they're
and
hilarious.
silly and enjoyable, and they're actually earnestly good RPGs with fun character progression and leveling. Except you're a little Paper Mario and you have to jump on guys and hit them with your hammer.
And there are distinct moments, especially if you want to get bonusy things, but even in the basic main missions that are like puzzly, you do have to stretch your brain, and it's fun. It's very rewarding.
That's great. My P is an older game. It's nostalgic for me. It's a PlayStation 2 era game.
Is it Prince of Persia?
It is Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time.
Fair enough.
Prince of Persia. Look, my first Prince of Persia playing was not Sands of Time. I grew up playing Prince of Persia 2, which I had. And when I say grew up playing that, I mean did this first level over and over and over and over and over and over and over again because I couldn't do the second level and I would just die and start again.
Of course.
Because it's a very hard game.
Is that a 2D or 3D?
That is 2D.
Okay.
Prince of Persia: Sands of Time, 3D, and great. Sands of Time is I think Sands of Time is a game that everybody should play. I think it introduced a time looping or like going back in time to retry things mechanic that was central to the game's actual gameplay. But a lot of people have done that sort of stuff since. Of like, you can go back a little bit and try again. Oh, you can go back a little bit. Like Braid, did that sort of stuff, and that's really fun. They work it really well into the gameplay. It is a parkour game that led to the sort of parkour stuff that you do in Assassin's Creeds and stuff like that. It is a puzzle platformer. The combat is surprisingly fun and interesting and in depth. You can take weapons off the people that you fight. Actually, I think that might only be in the second one, but you can take their weapons and pick up new stuff. You can change one of your weapons, but you have the dagger of time all the time. You fight and you flip over people's heads and you do all this really cool combat that I thought was really interesting at the time. You can run up walls and jump off behind the people to stab them in the back. It was really interesting. And, of course, like a lot of these, it's well written. It's very good dialogue and voice acting. We have a signed copy of Sands of Time, signed by Yuri Lowenthal, who voices the main character in that. And he is fantastic. If you've seen us on Lateral, you know that we like Yuri Lowenthal. But it's also really fun because the game starts to play with the meta of a game in a really interesting way, because one of the conceits of this game is that it's a story being told by the Prince of Persia later on. So every time you die, obviously that's not how the story went because he's telling the story in the future. So every time you die, there's like the voiceover sort of goes, wait, no, it didn't happen like that. So let me try again. And it goes back to the save point where he keeps talking, which I think is so funny and so immersive in this. And it's really interesting at the time. But they're fun games. There's a whole trilogy of these.
What
and
is
they're
the
really
goal?
Interesting. Well, this one is to defeat the vizier and kind of put the sands back in time and revert everything. Because there's been a huge catastrophe. You find the sands of time.
Okay, great.
You open them up and it destroys the whole kingdom and your father dies and everyone there. And so you have to get to that thing and go back and undo all this.
Yeah, it just occurred to me that as far as Prince of Persia goes, I know a lot about the mechanics and not a huge amount about the story.
Yeah. And it's fun, and there's interesting character dynamics, and there's a sort of vaguely romantic subplot, and it's great. And the gameplay is really enjoyable. and you're just running around and doing cool stuff, and then going back in time every time you fail so you can try it again. So it's like trial and error, but the best type of trial and error, where you don't have to do the whole stage again. You can just do literally that
love
one
that.
jump that's screwed up
Yeah.
over and over again. It's a great game, and you should find a way to play Prince of Persia: Sands of Time.
You've just reminded me of where we're up to in Celeste.
We've just started playing Celeste. That didn't make us see we haven't played enough of it. Danny, what's your Q?
Now, I know that you are going to have a lot more to say about Q
I've always
than
forgotten
I
what your
am.
P was. What was your P?
Paper Mario.
Oh, Paper Mario. That's right. Yeah, what's your Q?
Again, we're going back to the Overcooked style of just think some games are meant to make you laugh. I went with Quap.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. Quap is a good game. Everybody can go play Quap. It's very easy to find. Just go to foddy.net and click on Quap.
Bennett Foddy is
He's a genius.
genius of game creation.
Yeah.
He has just an idea of, no, here is what you can play games for. Just this lightness, this doesn't matter. You can get annoyed. It's a game, guys.
Yeah. I think
Have stupid fun.
The philosophy of like games as toys,
Mm.
he can very much embody, especially with that early stuff. He just went, here's a little concept, let's play with it and see what this is like.
And it's remarkable to see, like, how old is that? Like 20 years old, 20 something years old now.
Quap's been around for a while.
So, and just his game development has never lost that.
No.
Even
Have you played any Baby Feet?
I haven't played
Baby
any
Steps,
baby
rather?
steps.
You should
I've
play
just
some
watched
Baby
you
Steps.
play baby steps, but it's the same, just expanded and massively
Yeah, it's open world Quap.
branched out. It's beautiful. So if anyone has not played Quap, this is a QWOP.
Because those are the buttons you use to control your legs.
You are a runner in just a 100-meter race. Side view of this runner, but the only things you can control are your calves and your thighs.
Yes. Q controls one thigh, W controls the other thigh, O controls one calf, and P controls the other
Or
calf.
something
And it's
like
just
that.
like contracting that muscle. And then you go and you try and make this
And
person run.
For the most part, what you end up doing is you are told go, and you do a half-hearted backflip and end up with a score of negative 0.4 meters.
It's a great game.
It's amazing to race someone else because the races are miserable and just crawling little jumps. We did this very recently.
And the best thing about Quap is that as you go, it starts playing triumphant music at the pace at which you are going. So you'll start like moving one leg and it's like dun 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 bum, bum. And if you can get that music to start playing, you're feeling good, and then immediately you fail. It's a classic piece of ragey, fun, silly game mechanic.
Quap is too silly to even rage
No,
at.
it's great.
Like,
Have
some
you
of the
played-
other ones.
Have you played the
can do.
horse version called Clop?
Clop, I've played Clop. Just even the fact that exists is
Yeah, Quap is a
shows
very
how wonderful
Quap is
he
a very
is.
good. And in terms of like must-play games, Quap is on there. You have to have played Quap at some point
It
in your
doesn't
life.
take much effort.
You can play it for 2 minutes. It's Quap. It's not like it's a story. What's the writing like in Quap? And is the character dynamics really interesting? Do you really like the interplay between calf 1 and thigh 2? It's a great game. I didn't pick Quap. And I didn't pick Quest for Glory.
What?
Sorry, I didn't pick Quest 64. I did pick
Oh,
Quest for
okay,
Glory.
good. I
Q,
was really confused.
I was always going to put... Look, the only way I wasn't going to put Quest for Glory for Q is if I was going to put it down as Heroes
Yeah.
Quest for H, which was its original title. I have also streamed this game in its entirety on our... So it's on our Play This Game archive.
I have not played it solo, but I have sort of
I
gone alongside you playing through it.
Completely legitimately, with no sense of, oh, I'm being... too nostalgic about my own stuff. I legitimately think it is one of the greatest video games ever made.
The original, not the remaster from the mid-90s.
Yeah, okay, it came out in 1989, and they did a remaster in like 1992. Don't play that. It's gross. It takes all the color out of the world, and it looks really boring compared to how it used to look in the original. Like, this is one of those ones where a lot of games have been remade from their EGA graphics. I'm pretty sure this one was remade to EGA graphics from VGA graphics or something like that. You want the version.
It is disappointing
If
to
you
see the changes.
if you play it, you might accidentally get the version that has a mouse clicking interface and everything looks like it was drawn with like line art. You want to get rid of that one, and you want to load up the version that has a text parser interface and everything looks very pixelated. That one is actually beautiful. The colors are so vivid and fun and interesting.
And because you're doing text parsing, it's a different experience of the game.
You can't with the clicking. You can just sort of click around until you get the solution. With text parser, you have to think it through and come up with a solution. It is an RPG where it's in this world of games like King's Quest and Police Quest and all these other Sierra Quest games that were point-and-click adventures. But this one is not a point-and-click adventure. It is a RPG adventure game where you do have to solve puzzles, but you are a character in a world learning skills, growing, gaining better swordsman skills and new magic to learn and investigating and exploring. You explore this beautiful little world. You do quests. You learn about what is happening and who's doing what to who, and you explore and you find all these things. And it's fantastic. It's very funny. It's also very not funny in times, but usually deliberately. It's really beautiful. The gameplay is surprisingly enjoyable for an old game with a lot of, sometimes you are sitting and typing climb tree for 30 minutes real time as you hit space, enter, space, enter, space, enter.
You need your climb ability to get better. How else are you going to do it?
There's multiple ways to solve each of these problems, but in legitimately interesting ways about whether you can use magic or find a skill that's relevant.
That is what's very impressive about this as far as old either point and clicks or but particularly text parsers go, is that often in the older ones, there was a single solution, and if you missed it, you were screwed.
Whereas this one
is
usually,
very adaptable.
If you think, but couldn't I do it this way? You can. Can you sneak into the castle at night if you have a good climb skill? Yes. Can you lockpick this thing? You can. What if you're magic? You can cast the open spell. Oh, can I get this thing? If I can climb a tree, I can get something out of a tree, but I could also throw a rock at it to knock it out of a tree. Or I could cast the fetch spell to pull it out of a tree and put it in my hand. It's really interesting. It's really fun. The combat is enjoyable. Again, don't get the mouse click one. Get the one where you can use the keyboard. It's great. So I would fully recommend with complete earnestness that everybody play this game. It is available to get. You can get it on Good Old Games or anything like that. Try and play the original. Make sure it looks pink and pixelated and has a text parser. And if you're missing those, you're playing the wrong version of Quest for Glory.
And we played the second one together, and I thought the second one was great.
Oh, second one, again, they'll probably have a remake of that one too. You want to get the text parser and the pixels. And it is so much fun. And that one I played for the first time late. And isn't this wild for the time? You can take your character from the first game and you can port that character into the second game and pick up with the skills you had at the end of that first game. You can be the same person and move on to the next game. And that, for the time period, was
outrageous.
Phenomenally spectacular.
Now, again, you say for the time. We were not really alive at the time.
Exactly.
So
no one else could do it.
It's not like saying, oh yeah, we have these memories of how revolutionary
but just think about
how
good that was at the time.
I know, it's super impressive.
Quest for Glory made my list. Quest 64 could have made my list, although it could have also been under H for Holy Magic Century, just like this game could have been under H because it was originally called Heroes Quest. But this one, Holy Magic Century is not a good game. It's just a really fun game. It's like the Enchanted Arms of its time.
I played it again for the
fun.
first time in early adulthood.
It's better than
your
people
recommendation.
think it is.
I had a fine time with it. People really laugh at it.
People talk about being bad and they're wrong. It's cool.
I don't remember getting substantially through the story. I have no memory of what the story is, so maybe it falls apart at the end or something. But just sort of wandering around with the blaring Nintendo music and
that's Quest
doing
64
the
that
silly
we're
little
talking about now.
fights.
That's
fun.
That is, but it's no Quest for Glory, which I do think is a phenomenal game. 1989, very good year for games. Not the only 1989 game that I have on this list.
Okay, I've got an idea.
You know what the other one is. It's also one of the best games ever made, but we'll get there.
Well, let's get to your R.
My R. Oh, well, I went for something I've been playing a lot recently, and I think is a fantastic game.
Oh, yep, fair enough.
Absolutely weird game, but a great game, a classic. I think for the real nerds here, they're going to say, oh, so you actually should have put this under D for the real origin of this type of gameplay, but I'm not putting Dwarf Fortress, I've never played it. I'm putting RimWorld. RimWorld is a story-based colony simulator game where you have a bunch of characters trying to survive. It just gets weird and great and fun, and you can sort of do odd things in it and build little towns and try and get your people to survive and be happy and not get killed by the terrible violence.
Which totally happens a lot, right? You often end up happy and surviving.
Yeah, never once do you end up happy and surviving. It's great. RimWorld is a lovely game to play. It is weird and strange and odd and and
It's
full
one of these ones where you're
people
sort of
selling
building your own
drugs and-
stories. It's not like you're following an inherent story.
No, yeah, you just sort of see what happens emergently as you play.
And the bizarre, randomly generated character traits that all of the people
Yeah.
can attain are amazing.
You
Like
know-
a recent one that you played, your character wanted to be a mole person.
Yeah, I had some mole people. I had a game where I started with a character who could control little mechanical guys, and his one thing was he hates it when there's too many people living near him, and he wants to be alone. And so I sort of begrudgingly, but then like I had like a refugee child turn up being chased by a man-hunting monkey, and I was like, well, I gotta save the kid. I know I want to be alone, but I'll put them in a different little hut away from me on the edge of town. But then, you know, I got all these other new people coming in, and it became this interesting story of all this fun stuff happening as well.
Back to your mole people, though, because
I
you
had
had
a lot
some
of
that were
mole
okay with it,
people.
but a lot of people who were not okay with it and wanted to see the sun, and you had
Yeah,
to
and
just
I
say,
had to
all right, how am I going to
convince them.
change their
I
personalities?
had to convince them to become mole people. It's a great game. RimWorld is heaps of fun. Definitely comes with a recommendation. You can be terrible. It's one of those games where a lot of people play RimWorld and they are terrible, but I find it hard to be. Like people
as
are like,
in, have, like,
as
be
in, oh, yeah,
a bad person.
not bad at playing RimWorld. As in, they'll start the game like, great, I'm going to have a group of people, and what we're going to do is we're going to kill everybody who comes
Very
to our
easy to
town,
be accountable.
steal all their organs, sell them into slavery, and then use that to fund our illicit drug empire. And I'm like, oh, I just want to be nice to everybody.
Yeah.
I know they don't want to be nice. They don't want to have been nice to because they're all evil trying to kill me. But no, I'll set them free. It'll be fine.
Yeah,
I find it hard to be as evil as people
agree.
online are in RimWorld.
I remember like being okay with doing things like that in games
Yeah.
at like 15.
Then you hit
and
your like late 20s. And you're like, no, these digital people are so sad. Danny, what is your R?
my R is Rogue Legacy 2.
Danny is a fiend for Rogue Legacy 2.
I was somewhat fiend for Rogue Legacy, but Rogue Legacy 2, I feel, is one of those games that is a perfect sequel in its way. As in, I cannot go back to Rogue Legacy 1 now because of how great Rogue Legacy 2 is. It has so much more variability. The character, like, there was like no character variability in Rogue Legacy 1, and the visuals have just been cleaned up so beautifully. So Rogue Legacy 2, again, it is a roguelite game. You are a person. You go into a randomly generated dungeon. You try to do as much stuff as you can. You will most certainly die. And then the conceit of this one is that one of your descendants is who you play next. So they now appear in the town and they're going to follow in the family legacy and they're going to go into this dungeon. But it means that you can take all of your dead characters' money and stuff and use it to upgrade your town and give yourself more weapons and armor and power and that sort of thing. So you are improving between each run. And you just have all sorts of different character types that you can be. You can be a basic sword person. You can be a bow person. You can be a lootist. There are all sorts of wild things. And they have your
That's
characters...
someone playing a loot, not looting the dungeon.
Oh, yes. You have randomly generated good character traits and bad character traits that are just like your genetic quirks that you might have that can help you or hinder you. And if you've got lots of hindrances, your money bonus gets better because you sure were trying harder.
It is fun. And again, it is the genre of, or the style of game that Danny, I think, maybe you like more than I consider straight away, than I would immediately assume, which is it's a side-scrolling action platformer.
It's true. The platforming isn't wildly difficult in this one, but then I've played it enough that I'm quite good at it. But yeah, the thing that I tend not to like about certain action platformers is the repetition. If you die towards the end of a level and then have to start a level again, that immediately clenches something in me and makes me not want to do it, to the point where I can't even watch a streamer do that. You've commented on how odd this is, at how if I'm watching a streamer play Crash Bandicoot or something and then they die and go back to the start of the level, I have to look away until they get back to that point. I'm not sure what that is. But for ones where there's random generation of the levels, you don't have that issue so much.
100%.
And especially when you have the opportunity to improve yourself in between runs as well. You are never doing exactly the same thing over and over again.
All right, let's keep going. I think we're taking a while. Maybe I'm wrong. We're on to S.
I'm not going to have much to say about my last few letters, don't worry.
Well, what's your S?
My S, I have very briefly mentioned it. I'm going with South Park, The Stick of Truth.
Yes, that's fair. The South Park games, The Stick of Truth and
Fractured
The
But
But Whole, are surprisingly very good games.
These games, look, was I a South Park person growing up? Yes and no. I wasn't allowed to watch it as a child, and that outraged me. So, of course, I tried whenever I could. I know enough about it. I certainly haven't kept up with it, but I've seen most of the very early stuff. But these two games are made with such fidelity to the series. It is phenomenal how much
they are written just like a South Park episode, but they're also designed with a real sense of good gameplay mechanics.
Absolutely.
They are not a bad game with funny writing. They are a very good game with also very funny South Park writing.
Turn-based combat with the Paper Mario style reactions that can happen mid-combat, which again really works for me apparently.
At least one of the two has combat that's close to the Enchanted Arms style of combat, I feel.
That's more the second one.
Which is also interesting.
And yeah, they're just really enjoyable to play. They're really funny. Fractured But Whole, in its own South Parky way, had such openness to different sexualities and genders and that sort of thing that I actually cried while playing it because it made me so happy from a South Park game.
Yeah.
But yeah, Stick of Truth was the first one of the two, and it's really enjoyable to play, and I'm sure probably less so if you weren't ever into South Park, but who knows, maybe not. Maybe this is the thing that could get people into it to some extent. But look, it's South Park, whatever you may think of it, it's a very iconic series. It has some spectacular things in it, and I think that this game encompasses all of the good bits.
All right, lovely. My S is another game from 1989 that is one of the greatest games ever made. And this is the medieval Japanese adventure story simulator game, Sword of the Samurai.
I don't know how you just in your childhood got all of these games that were so bizarrely
cool.
I mean, yet they had so much going on. Like most people in the early 90s were just playing games that were walk along this track and hope you don't die. And somehow you found ones with wild amounts of choice and
Sword of the Samurai
on.
is 1989. It's a game in which you start as a samurai and you end, ideally, as the shogun in control of all of Japan. And you do this by doing a whole bunch of different things. You go to tea ceremonies, you raise an army, you manage the taxes on your land, you get into sword fights, you go on adventures, you do...
I want to say there's something that feels like it fits similar in style vibes to if you played things like Oregon Trail, that level of decision making.
Maybe, but it's also very like... this is a similar game in vibes to things like Sid Meier's Pirates, or there's a medieval European version of this, which I can never remember the name of, where you have all these different things that you can do in this game, and they are all effectively their own little mini games. You can do a top-down, troop-based combat strategy game in this that is very much like trying to play a 1989 version of Total War. You can do the duels, which are from over-the-shoulder third-person duels, which were programmed by Sid Meier, who then made Pirates and Civilization and all this other stuff. That was one of the first things he did at Microprose. Maybe not one of the first things, but it was an early thing he did at Microprose was do the programming for the dueling minigame. There's a top-down single player thing where you're fighting lots and lots of guys. You can invent when you're infiltrating castles or fighting in rice fields or putting down like bandit rebellions and all this stuff. That's a top-down action game where you're shooting arrows and hitting with your sword, and that's really interesting and dynamic, and all the enemies are different types, and you're getting onto paths that can change your walking speed to get around guys who are stuck in the rice field. Then there is a whole social element to this game where you need to manage your relationships with the other people at your level and the person in charge. You can get married. You need to have heirs. The way you survive in this game, if you ever die, is you then keep playing, but you now control your heir, who's usually jumps straight to the bottom of the leaderboard. Every section of this game, you have three sort of opponents who are other people of your rank, and you want to be the highest ranked person when the lord above you dies, so that you are named as his
Course.
successor and you take on his place. And then, like, so you'll be a samurai under like a hatamoto, and then he dies, you become the hatamoto, and then there's 4 hatamoto under another person above, a taicho or whatever above you, right? And so, and then you're there, and then if you've got that role, there's 4 of you underneath the shogun. But every time you're growing and growing in power, and getting, your army starts off as like 20 people, but by the end game you'll be like, I've got an army of 4,000 people, and we're doing it. And you get better at swordsmanship, and so you prove yourself more honorable by doing missions for the guy in charge, and he'll make the comment, you're quite good. But then you could be like, well, okay, I'm not that good. Everyone loves this guy, but I can sneak in. I can travel. There's like 3 ways to travel. You can travel sneakily or with your army or by yourself, and that will affect how much honor you get for the things that you do. You can sneak into someone's house at night and, like, disguised as a poor traveler, sneak in, plant like a stolen sword in their home and leave, and then their honor goes down because someone's like, this guy stole the sword. So then you go above them in the honor rankings, and then you're now head of the game.
As a question,
to get the next promotion.
And
it's so good.
I don't have any idea how much of an answer you would have to this. To your memory, have you ever gotten to be Shogun?
I've been Shogun once.
Wow.
Usually I stop playing by that point. Because I'm bad at seeing things through. But I have been. I have won that game before. It takes a long time. It's great. It's really legitimately interesting and varied and complex and fun, and it's cool. It's fun, and you build your own rivalry. Like you'll end up with these moments of like, oh, I hate this guy. These other 3 I don't care about. This person guy because I went to a tea ceremony and he insulted me, and then we refused to fight me and he left, and then this happened, and he keeps messing with me, and I went out and then there was a peasant rebellion at my place because he came in and incited people to rebel. This is terrible. No one believes me. No one believes me that it's his doing. So I'm going to duel him, and then his son takes over, and his son hates you because you killed his dad, and it's great.
Nice.
It's a really cool game. Sorry, everybody. Play Sword of the Samurai. You can also get that somewhere. I'm sure you can buy that on Good Old Games if you'd like to. It's phenomenal. It's a great game. That's all I have to say about that.
Tea?
No, we should probably keep recording. What did you put for your tea? Did we put the same game?
Probably not.
I wonder if we put the same game.
Highly unlikely.
Okay, it's highly unlikely.
I went back to childhood.
Okay, then we didn't put the same game.
No, not at all, because I went with Tombi, or Tomba as Americans might know it.
Oh, yes.
Don't know why it had a different name in different countries.
And you know what Tombi is, everybody? It's a side-scrolling action platformer.
Well, like I've said, I think that there is only a surprisingly thin line between platformers and puzzlers.
The real puzzle is figuring out how to get more honor in medieval Japan.
Tombi is a really odd game, and I know that I've never had the full experience of it because I can't have, because the only place that I have played it is on my Winter Releases 98 PlayStation demo disc.
So you're putting in a game you've only played the demo for.
Here's the thing, it's a huge demo. I have put a long time into this game. I know that I've played the beginning a million times, but I'm not even sure where the demo stops and the actual game would begin.
Oh, how fun.
I think there's one no, I swear you can just keep going for a really long time.
Maybe you did play the demo. Maybe you just played Tombi.
I mean, it's the only place that I've ever had it. I would love to find a place to get this game so that I can play the full thing.
Danny's going to stream
different.
Tombi live on Twitch.
Totally could. The conceit of Tombi, is you...
Are you a caveman in that?
You're a boy who's... Well, you've got pink hair, but there is some caveman vibes to it. You got pink hair and shorts. So it's not really caveman.
Are there dinosaurs in Tombi?
No.
Are those pigs?
Yes, you were all good, but in typical Japanese fashion, everything was fine until the evil pigs came along, and now the world looks kind of weird and like everything's made of fairy floss.
Okay, so Ganon's there. An evil pig.
Yeah, kinda. Like, there are a few specific, like, leader pigs, and I assume you have to take them out. But in the end, you are just platforming around. There are some birds that bother you as well, and you have to go to a dwarf village, and you have to bite the dwarves in order to gain use of their language, because I think you have a magic mouth in this game. It doesn't really come up except like you're collecting baby chickens in the very beginning stage, and the way you collect them is you swallow them. And it's okay, you'll vomit them out later, and they're fine. So, and I just
don't trust
remembered
this
the
Tonga
biting
kid.
dwarves to learn their language, and I take it my mouth is magic.
No, that's how you learn languages. This is why Duolingo can't make any money, because you can just bite people.
Mm. But either way, it's just fun. The feel of the platforming, it's like anything in the 90s. The platforming feels different from anything else. But it's good fun. There's just lots of grabbing and throwing, really. Jump, grab, throw.
Oh, nice. Well, I put something that I thought maybe you might have put for T. I feel like weirdly I struggled with T, because I didn't want to include the.
Of course not.
And there's games. I could have put a Tomb Raider or something, but I don't care that much about Tomb. I could put. And then I went, oh, obviously, a game that I have a huge amount of time in.
Tetris.
That is one of, I think, the best games of its genre, of its style, and a thing that people have been chasing something as good as it for the past 20 years.
Ooh.
And never quite made it.
Okay.
The best multiplayer shooter ever made, Team Fortress 2.
I did consider Team Fortress 2. You're
Overwatch
right.
is just people who wanted to make Team Fortress 2, and then they made only like 1/5 of Team Fortress 2 and called it a day and went, that's probably enough. Team Fortress 2 is great.
From what I hear, it's now just Bot Central.
Oh yeah, you can't play it anymore. You cannot play Team Fortress 2 anymore. It's lost its community because things have moved on. But it was huge for a long time.
It was like the only online multiplayer game that I ever played because I don't like them very much.
It was so easy to jump in and out. It was the right tone. It was complicated and complex without being annoying.
I think that's it. Like, it's team-based and everything, but it is designed with just enough element of chaos that you can't really feel like you're bad at it.
It's
like,
much
that's
harder
just
to
fun.
let your team down in Team Fortress. It is sillier. Now, it has done some big sins. It is one of the games that really introduced the concept of loot boxes to the world of gaming, a terrible thing that is really something we need to fix. It's definitely the cause of some big problems. But it's a phenomenal shooter game.
It's really enjoyable.
It's so fun. It's so good. There's so many different ways to play it.
Was it originally I don't want to say
Team
a
Fortress,
mod of
Team
a
Fortress
thing.
1 was a Half-Life mod, I think. And then Team Fortress 2 was like the official release.
Gotcha.
So there was never, I don't think, an actual release of Team Fortress 1. It was only just a sub-game within like multiplayer Half-Life, I think.
Turns out that you get some good things out of
out
of that. Like,
people modding games.
Yeah.
Team Fortress 2, absolutely fantastic. We both put hundreds and hundreds of hours into that game.
Oh yeah.
It is great and fun.
What was your preferred character type?
Oh, I didn't mind the Demo Man.
I was awful at Demo Man.
I quite liked Demo Man.
That was my least favorite.
I liked being a medic.
I also wasn't great with medic.
I was not the best. I was a terrible soldier with the rocket launcher.
Yeah. I couldn't
people
do
got big
rocket
at rocket jumps and things. I was not a brilliant.
I was not a very good spy.
But Scout. I loved Scout. I played Scout really well.
I'm not big on Scout. My 3 definitely sniper. I was really good at sniping. Heavy and pyro.
That's fair as well. But it's a great game. It's fun. And like Overwatch was just one game mode of Team Fortress 2. It was just push the cart. But Team Fortress 2 also had death matches. It also had like King of the Hill style things, I think. Like a whole bunch of different ways to play. Yeah, and capture the flags and all these other fun stuff. It was great. It's very, very fun.
Didn't Overwatch get like point capture?
I don't think so.
Really?
I think Overwatch was always just push the cart.
What? Ugh.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was.
I'm
wrong.
I played the tiniest bit of Overwatch.
But Team Fortress 2, nothing's been able to quite capture it since.
Yeah, Overwatch just it was okay. There was too much teamwork. Was much more of a necessity, and like your individual abilities tended to work cohesively with other people's
Which is
stuff
probably
a bit
a
more.
good thing for people who like playing together a lot. But
it just means that you have to take it more seriously, and it works. I'm sure it works better if you are playing with a group of friends.
Yes,
but
Team
if you're just
Fortress
going
2
online and playing
was
with
quite
strangers,
welcoming to just jumping into a game. It's a great. Sorry, everybody. Team Fortress 2. It's hard to play now because, it's really hard to find a lobby that isn't just bots and weirdness. But if you can, it's a great one to play. Well, that's T. Do you have a U?
I do have a U.
We're getting to the tough end of the alphabet.
You was quite actually. I feel like I had a couple of choices for you, but really,
Ooh.
there was no competition. I had to go with Undertale.
I thought you might go for Undertale. I didn't go for Undertale specifically because
Mm.
I assumed you would.
Undertale is
I mean, it's phenomenal.
it's a very special game, and I replayed it again recently, and it all came rushing back in the music. I never thought about the music the first time I played, but apparently it really hit home.
Well, Toby Fox rose to prominence doing music for Homestuck on
Is that right?
Yeah, that was the thing that introduced when Undertale was coming out, it was very much for a lot of people, oh, that's the Homestuck music guys game.
Wow.
How funny. I wonder if it'll be any good. And then it was a genre altering phenomenal piece of art that everybody loves and is one of the best indie games ever made.
It was the first proper game that I played that had the messes with you as a person, as in there is a point where you think something's wrong with your computer.
Yeah.
And no, that is intentional. That is the game doing that. And that is the sort of thing I love. That's what I love about Inscription as well.
Yes.
Those are the things I really enjoy them.
The only problem we had with Undertale initially is Undertale is designed as an artistic experience so that you are locked into the things that you have done before. When you finish it and you play it again, the manner in which you finished it the first time informs the way you play it the second time.
Which means it's not very good for two people sharing a computer.
Yes, which meant when we wanted to like swap off, when I had played it and then Dani wanted to have a go, Dani was starting from a game that wasn't actually a blank slate.
I didn't do
but
that.
because
we
it's
we just wiped the whole thing.
Because it is designed to be experienced that way, and it's like a legitimate artistic choice that the game made. It doesn't give you a button to click to like delete your save file, because the point is no, you're stuck. You can't. You're like, you have done these things. You are playing it. You are in it. You made these choices. You have to live with them. Except you didn't make those choices. You had to live with mine. So we had to like go into the code and like where that game was. Not that hard. I'm not going to the code, but you had to go into a thing that was
a little bit more
not
effort.
something the game wants you to do, to try and find the place where you can delete the
So
code.
in other words, Gen Zs who don't know how to use the behind-the-scenes functions of their computers,
we just looked it up, but
won't be able to do it very well.
And so that was slightly annoying. This feeling of like, oh, what, we have to buy an entire second, not even just buy a second copy, have to set up a second account on Steam to get a new, like,
that was probably why I got a Steam account.
But we ended up not doing that, and you just played. But that was the only gripe, that it wasn't brilliant for it is interestingly one that is worse, I think, with two people involved.
Yes.
You need to play that alone, and you have to go through it and play it again and again and
but the gameplay is so unique in that you really feel like you are making a choice, and a choice with gravity every time you have a conversation, every time you enter a fight. It's phenomenal, because the whole thing about this is you can play this straight like a video game, or you can treat it like it matters, and the game will let you know what you have done.
Yeah.
Like, you just go into a fight where you're, oh no, a bunch of frogs have attacked you. So you attack the frogs and you kill the frogs and you leave. Yeah, and the game will say, yeah, that's what you do in a video game. But, you didn't have to just kill a bunch of frogs, right? And it's true. In no way does the game force you to kill a bunch of frogs.
It's really interesting. It has lots of different parts and acts and characters and moments that are just really memorable and beautiful. And it's phenomenal. If you haven't played Undertale, you should. I think it's definitely one of those games that everybody should play. And it
wants you to play it 3 times.
Yes, it's really good, everybody. This is not a news flash. No one's in like, whoa, wait, Undertale's good? Everybody knows it's good. It is an incredible artistic
achievement. To the point where I've
achievement.
seen some people online talk about it being overrated. It's not.
It's not overrated.
It's beautiful. It is worth it. And it's fun to play.
I put something far less impactful in the world of gaming.
Okay.
Far less important. But one that I think, surprisingly, I had a lot of fun with, and I wasn't expecting it. I played these much later than everybody else. But honestly, they're great. I put Uncharted.
I
would explicitly say not Uncharted 1. I would say Uncharted, let's say 2.
Uncharted was interesting because, again, we started out sort of
swapping off.
Yeah, exactly. And I zoned out of the actual gameplay incredibly quickly.
Yes.
The story, the voice acting, and all of that was great fun.
Uncharted is one of those rare ones where the gameplay is the worst part of that game, especially in the first Uncharted, but it's still fun. The gameplay's good.
Eventually, for one of the games, it might have just been one or it might have been two, we just set the difficulty down to easy so that bad guys would actually die when you
Yes.
shot them in the head.
Yeah, harder.
Do you know how annoying it is when you headshot an enemy and they don't die? You have to do that like 3 times to kill them just because that's the difficulty setting.
I think with Uncharted, I very much am a person who likes playing games on harder difficulties. I think there's often a lot of joy to that. I think there's a lot of fun to that. Like the Batman games, I think you have to play on the hardest possible difficulty. Otherwise, it's not as fun. Those become less fun when you play them on lower difficulties. Not to everybody,
Medium
for me,
agreement.
right? I like the
Sometimes
idea
it can
that
just make the random battles last longer.
that's true, but my bigger thing for that is that it's like it makes the stealth feel relevant, and
Absolutely.
you have to be.
There are
it's
some
the sort of
elements
like,
that were great.
Batman doesn't
but-
want to be shot by people. He wants to. They are scary to him, and it needs to feel scary to you as a player.
This is true.
The idea that a thug with a gun should be an intimidating option when you are just a guy in a suit. So there are certain games where I think it's thematically interesting to play them on harder difficulties.
Definitely, there are some.
Uncharted is one of the few where I went, and I'll say this advice to everybody: stick it on the lowest possible difficulty. The harder difficulties on Uncharted are tedious, and the joy of Uncharted is seeing the story unfold and having the characters talk to each other and quip at each other, and to feel like someone in that type of a movie. Because in that type of a movie, it is just it's Indiana Jones style, like you're just having a shootout with people. Everyone dies and does a Wilhelm scream and falls off a cliff, and then you get to the next part and there's no real danger.
And this is
and
what
I
I
think
said
those
with
feel better on
this
a
is
lower
what I said with
difficulty.
BioShock. Like the only reason that you would put BioShock at a harder difficulty is if you want the fights to last longer.
Yes, that one is thematically fine either way. That one I wouldn't. But I think that's a fun one to play at the medium difficulty.
Yeah. I know the things like Spider-Man Miles Morales I specifically put down to a lower difficulty. I don't know why that one more than any of the other Spider-Man games, but that one I felt like the story was better served by the combat being on a lower level.
Yeah.
It's interesting how it happens, but yeah, I'm a little bit more open to doing that than I used to be.
Yeah. But
And yeah, it's not
there
because
are other games where there's not enough. Shadow of Mordor is always bothering me because it doesn't have difficulty settings and it needs to be able to be set to a super high difficulty. No,
I thought
had
it just
to.
wasn't enough.
Maybe it just wasn't enough. But that game, even on whatever the highest difficulty was, is just like, no, I need to die. I think I played that one on a high difficulty and with deliberately never upgrading my health because that's a game where dying is so fun and rewarding.
Yeah.
And then if you get through it, if you play well, you just never die and you're like, oh, well, I never got to experience half the mechanics of this game because they happen when you die, and it's not hard enough to make me die constantly. And all this is purely based on you as a player, right? Like, if Batman is difficult for you on an easy difficulty, that's fine. Just play it where you get worried about people. And Uncharted, my advice is play it where you don't have to worry that much about people. Because some of that game's combat, they're just like, and then 18 more people turn up and do this, and they never die, and you run out of ammunition.
The combat
like,
tends to be not what made me feel rewarded for playing the game.
The exploration and the story and the fun of it. Those are basically movies that you get to play sometimes.
And that was a really interesting one from that perspective, because I don't think I had played that many games that just felt like movies.
Yeah, but they're great. They're really fun.
Oh, great fun.
They're really enjoyable. They're adventurous and silly. All of them are good. The first one is the worst in terms of both the gameplay and the story. But they are all great fun. And that's you.
Have we gone for the same V?
Ooh, have we gone for the same V? I've closed my list by accident. We have gone for the same V, I reckon.
All right.
We have both gone. This is my guess. I haven't seen what Danny's done. I think we have both gone for Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines.
We absolutely have.
That's a good game, everybody.
A game that creates troublesome fandoms and a very unwanted 20-plus year later sequel.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy.
But also, not completely rushed ending. It does not. The ending of that game is not
We played
fun.
so many games where this happened, where the studio was just forced to put the game out before they were ready. It's so sad.
Oh, God, Vampire's a good game.
Again, this one, a very early RPG experience for me. 4, I want to say. And you
game.
introduced me to this one reasonably early, and it was very special. The amount of choice and dialogue that it felt like was there was relatively new to me at the time.
And Vampire the Masquerade sometimes fails, especially as you get later into the game, at meaningful choice in its mission. Sometimes it will just force you into combat you can never avoid.
I ended up in a stage where I had given myself no gun skills whatsoever, and I literally got trapped in a mission where not having gun skill meant that I was never going to be able to win it. It wasn't a skill issue. It was the game would not let me win it without
guns. It happens
guns.
more and more as it goes, but at the start, you can choose any way to do something. But the genius thing...
The first act of that game is
it's one of the greatest moments of gaming.
First act.
It's fantastic. But the thing that it does that is so smart is, in the world of computer RPGs, is to actually authentically allow you to have the choice in how you tackle things. It only gave you experience for finishing quests, not for anything else you were doing. Not for killing an enemy, not for whatever. It was just, here's the moment you've done the quest, here's the experience points for that quest. Which means, in a lot of other games, there's like choice of how you play. You could fight people or you could not fight people. But if you fight people, you'll gain 7 levels. And if you don't fight people, you won't gain any levels.
Again, another point that I will say is played with very interestingly in Undertale, just to say.
And it did that really well so that you didn't feel like you were losing out on rewards by sneaking your whole way through a mission and not engaging with anybody.
Yes.
Or talking your way through the mission and using the right persuasion skills to avoid all the combat. You weren't then punished by losing out on all that experience and rewards and loot and stuff, which I thought was really great. It is, again, well written. It's interesting characters. It's a beautiful world to hang around. You hang out in like LA. It's always night because you're a vampire, so you never go out during the day. So it's always nighttime in various parts of LA.
It's got a little bit of the GTA style, exaggerated, silly characters.
Yes, very much that sort of GTA style of writing. But it's an RPG, it's very focused, it uses... And you can be all these different types of vampires, and a lot of them will play very differently. One of them is so ugly that if anyone ever sees you, they'll be like, "Oh my gosh, that's a vampire!"
And it's so exciting.
So you have to live in the sewers.
You can you can't change the way your character looks. It wasn't like a character model changing style thing. You would just pick one of these types of characters. You certainly still got to pick all your own skills and things like that, but. I talked about my problem with KOTOR being that, oh no, my character looked a certain way that I didn't decide, and that completely disengaged me. This game does not do that. You have enough personality in the choices that you can make in dialogue and what you are allowed to say and do, depending on the type of vampire you've chosen to be, that you feel attached to them very quickly.
It is really fun. It's a very engaging, interesting. It's
love
scary sometimes. It's
the beginning, like the first major mission that you have in this game is just you got to go through a haunted house, and it is terrifying.
It's a really,
scarier
really
than
good
Bioshock.
Game. Definitely worth playing. They just released a sequel that is probably not worth playing. It looks
seems like
pretty
they've
bad.
changed everything about it, and it went through dev hell like 8 separate times.
Now the first game also the first game just they by the end of it, it's just like it's just so quick and so boring, and they lose so much choice because they didn't have the timing to put it in. It's a clunky game. It is in no way the perfect game, but it's a definite must-play of a game. It's very fun
special.
and weird and cool. Okay, that's V. We did the same V. There were other V. Most V games are all just vampire games. We could have put Vampire Survivors. I never would, but we could. That's a dumb game. It's great fun, but it's a dumb game. But what is your W?
My W is Wildermyth.
Interesting. We have not played a bunch of Wildermyth.
We played a good chunk of it.
Yeah?
Yeah, we did.
It's quite fun.
I found it quite unique and again expansive. I'm sure a lot of it is just sort of RNG stuff happening, but in ways that made meaningful story. That it has time that actually passes. So you have heroes, you are recruiting heroes, but they get older. And their
stuff happens
stats
to
change based on their age and what injuries they've accrued over time.
They get cursed to start turning into a rat boy.
Oh, man. Yeah, again, I think I'm just really impressed every time I find a game that just has so much possibility and that if you play it again, everything will be different. To me, it's very similar to RimWorld.
I get what you mean. And then the combat for that game, or the main gameplay mechanics, there's a kind of an overworld map where you're doing resource management and sending your people to go and do the right quests at the right times and search and discover stuff. And then the actual gameplay for the combat is a top-down tactics game. It's like playing Final Fantasy Tactics or games of that ilk, where you're moving around in a grid and getting into the right range to use your abilities on enemies. And that's quite fun as well. I think it's surprisingly enjoyable.
It was. And as a
tactical combat
multiplayer game, it was sort of multiplayer where it did not need to be multiplayer at all.
No, it was
you
mostly
could do it
just-
all single
You
player.
could have easily done it single player.
Except we both had control over things, and it was nice. I think it worked well.
It is a lovely game to play together.
The story heaviness is.
It is very funny. I played this with
Massive.
you, and because we both cared about reading story, it was quite interesting and fun to see what happened to these characters. Look, some of these scenes are, I wouldn't say it's well written. I think a lot of the story stuff was it was not, I wouldn't call it quality writing. It was fun, the fact that these things were happening, but the manner in which some of these things were written was very okay, whatever.
You sounded like you were about to say overwritten, which I had sort of on the tip of my
Yeah.
tongue, but not in such a way that makes me get annoyed in any way.
No, but it was
It's
harder to be
a-
this is really
There are
cool.
some moments where you go, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, there's a lot of, okay, I get it. And sometimes but then I also played this game with my brothers, and they did not want to read any story ever. So they had
What?
much less engagement with the game. They just went, skip. All right, next fight. And so
Aw.
they got far less invested in, and that was was not as big a hit with the brothers crew
Oh, that's
of game playing.
so
But,
sad.
but no, it was lovely. That is not what I put for W.
Uh-huh.
I put again. This is an
Oh, no.
older. I put a lot of older games on this
I
list.
assume I've got a solid guess.
I put what is, again, it's one of the greatest games of its genre.
Mhm.
I put Warcraft 3.
Yep.
Warcraft 3 was a
I've
phenomenon.
got a couple of 2 games. You've got a couple of 3 games on your list.
So Warcraft 3 was, I think, probably the last of the hyper-popular RTSs. It was the end of that genre, I think. There were other RTSs that lasted a little bit longer, but I think that's the turning. I think around Warcraft 3 coming out was the height of RTSs as a genre. Or it was the last big moment of RTSs as a genre, real-time strategy games. And then they sort of fell downhill from that after 2003 or whenever this came out.
RTSs can vary. Is Warcraft 3 one of the ones that's more army-based or more individuals-based?
Individual based.
Okay.
It plays exactly the same as Age of Empires. But Age of Empires
Right.
3 came out after this. But Age of Empires 3 felt like it was not because of its quality or anything, it felt like it was the death knell of this genre. People like Age of Empires 1, every single person in the world played it. Age of Empires 2, every single person in the world played it. So of course Age of Empires 3, I know there's been a bit of a gap, it's been a bit of a wait, but let's release it and it will be just as popular. And then they went, oh, it's not as popular. Then by the time Age of Empires 4 came out, so I'm saying RTS was still coming out, it was oh, okay, I get it. People.
Do you think it was just around the time of shift of internet quality meant that people could play more immediate?
I think it was also
Games
a
better?
bigger swap to
Because this
the
was when
full proliferation-
FPSs became a big deal.
FPS, but also a full proliferation of console-based gaming. PlayStation 2 coming out and becoming the most bought console
Interesting.
ever made. I think the shift of who was playing games was changing, and RTSs are a very
We basically just
kind
lost
of
LAN parties.
nerd-focused genre. There's a certain type.
I suppose
and
that's
they're not as approachable, and so I think as gaming became bigger, RTSs
I should have
became
gone Age
less
of Empires
desired.
for my A.
But Warcraft 3 was, I think, it was a brilliant RTS. Introduced this concept of having heroes on as special units who were extra good. Actually, maybe not. Maybe that was more of a Command and Conquer thing. But it made this type of hero who got abilities and upgraded and gained levels, added an RPG element. The story is fantastic and interesting, and at the time, especially, but visually beautiful cutscenes, really, really amazingly rendered computer generated cutscenes that look fantastic even today. Interesting story and characters, a fun world, and then the multiplayer. Oh, it was coming off the back of StarCraft multiplayer, where I think a lot of this stuff really started, and the real nerds are StarCraft, where this all came from. But to me, and for a lot of people, Warcraft 3 was where so much stuff was happening. League of Legends is a remake of Dota, and Dota was a Warcraft 3 fan-made game.
Again,
Warcraft 3
What,
introduced
so
the
many
concept.
amazing games have come out of this.
It introduced
idea.
the concept of tower defenses, pretty much. Although, again, I'm pretty sure technically that was StarCraft, but it popularized and made people were developing their own things. So many people were just making their own RPGs and games and stuff in the map editor of Warcraft 3, because what it gave to people was a map editor that also allowed you to program in like triggerable events, but not needing to know how to program. You could just do it all in like drop down menus and set
Did
up
you
the
ever do
trigger.
that?
I did a little bit and never finished anything. But I my first ever foray into the idea of like, can you make a little game was all in Warcraft 3. It had games like Footman Wars and what was the sheep hunt? There was a wolf and sheep game that was really
Cool.
popular. There was all this hugely every day, and this is one of these things that I'm so happy I was part of, because one of the most memorable parts of my like gaming life was every day you come home from school, you'd open up Battle.net, which was the multiplayer version of Warcraft 3, and you would see whatever is new that day, and you'd be like, everyone's playing this new type of game. Someone's put this new game on the server and everybody's playing it, and it's got its own mechanics and rules, and and it was just something new and interesting every day.
And from what I understand, when they
It was great.
recently, a couple of years ago, re-released this game, that was something that they got rid of, and everyone was devastated.
Oh, what they
right?
did was, because of stuff like Dota
Hmm.
being so popular and turning into League of Legends and all this, they changed it so they were like, everything you make now legally belongs to Blizzard, and we have the rights to every single thing
I
you've ever
thought they
done.
literally just got rid of the community ability to do stuff.
Maybe they did it first as well, yeah. And it sort of came back. You can play now on the modern version. You can get onto Battle.net, but obviously the community's not there anymore. It's not the same as it ever was.
That's always sad.
But it was great. It was just watching other people be so inventive and come up with cool new stuff and do something amazing every day. And the base game was also a fantastic game. It very explicitly turned into World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft is an MMO of Warcraft 3 more than anything else. And it then became the most popular game of all time and is still being played now. But Warcraft 3 is so good. It is amazing. And I think worth playing now, even if you have to, you can only buy the reforged version, which is now better than it was when it came out. But it's great. It's so good. If you're younger than us, you may not have ever really been into real-time strategy games. But it's a really good one, and you should play it.
I really regret not picking Age of Empires for my A game now.
It's great.
Not only that, but I have like personal stories that I can tell about it that
Not
are like
anymore.
touching stories.
Sorry, you can't tell it anymore.
They involve people who have died.
Oh, well, too bad. Really? What's your
Yeah.
Age of Empires story?
It's my mum's university friend who stayed in our life since then, so like known our family for like 50 years or whatever, but he died a couple of years ago during COVID times. His name was Dennis, and just one day, I don't know, I might have been 10, 11, we were going over to dinner at his place, and because I was a child who did not like to engage with adults very much, I probably brought a selection of books, but what he did was Dennis set up a laptop on his coffee table, just said, hey, how about you take a look, I'll show you how to play this game. And it was Age of Empires, and I just sat there playing that game the entire night. I was entranced, and that was how I got to know Age of Empires ever. And I'm now just thinking, not only is that my like key lovely memory of Dennis, just think now as an adult, when you show a child a game that
You could change
you
their life.
enjoy, and to have that kid actually like fall in love with it,
Yeah.
that doesn't happen that often. You're worried that they're just going to say, oh, this game sucks.
Yeah.
But that must have been a pretty nice moment for him as well.
Yeah, it's true.
Worth talking about, worth including.
But you didn't, so I've cut it from the episode. No, it's all there. Have you done your W?
Yes.
What was your W?
Wilder Myth.
Wilder Myth, of course. We talked about it for a while.
Mhm.
What's your X?
I'm back to silly. Do you have a real X?
Well, okay, there is a real X that obviously neither of us put, which is not silly, which is one of the greatest games ever made.
What?
The XCOM.
Oh my god.
The 2000, the
How did I not put XCOM?
The reboot of XCOM. Neither of us put it down.
Oh,
but
that's really embarrassing.
we both should have, because it is phenomenal. If you haven't played
love XCOM.
XCOM Enemy Unknown, or XCOM 2,
2 is
or,
amazing.
or XCOM Enemy Within, or any of
Again,
these.
their writing is not perfect. Their endings fall apart.
No,
but their
oh
gameplay
my
is great.
Gosh, they are
Ooh.
fundamentally some of the greatest games
Very
that have come
special.
out in the last couple of
No,
decades.
what did you
Like,
say?
They are. Oh, I put the dumb game that I've been playing recently, which is not that good, and I wouldn't really recommend
X4?
it, but I'm loving it so much. I put X4 Foundations, the space game.
Again, everything that I've seen of it makes it look expansive
It's
and
expansive
fascinating.
and great. But right now, Every time
I love games that you can sink 200 hours into and still keep going. I'm not. You see this, there's a resurgence of people online who are saying, God, whatever happened to the 20-hour game? That's what I want. No, not me.
X4 Foundation. So obviously, both of our real pick is XCOM. XCOM Enemy Unknown is.
I like the second one better. I'm into sequels, apparently.
I really like XCOM Enemy Unknown. I think it has the best vibes. As in, like, I think it has the best atmospheric feeling in the game. Even the expansion to that. I would not recommend you get the expansion to XCOM until you've already played it once, because I think it ruins the pacing of the feeling of the game. XCOM Enemy Unknown has the perfect feeling of you are humanity responding to an alien invasion, and the pace at which you start to learn new things and get new abilities and grow and adapt alien technology into your defense against the alien invasion is so immersively paced and interesting. And if you get the expansion, straight away you're like, I'm going to take my cybernetic mech soldiers with their telekinetic powers and fight aliens. Like, that's a different game.
Yeah, it's not quite
That's not the same. The real feeling of responding to this alien invasion with your normal guys with normal guns, and by the end slowly transforming them into things that are beyond human capacity because the response to an alien invasion has allowed you to grow. That feeling is
very cool.
Is just unparalleled.
That being
and
said,
so good.
In XCOM 2, not in all the XCOMs, you will be attached to your own soldiers as you create them and bond with them over time and really worry
100%.
that they're going to die.
Yep.
But in XCOM 2, it's called War of the Chosen, the DLC, right?
That one you should get the DLC straight away.
100% from the beginning, because those special enemies that creates,
they're so cool.
You will get very hate attached to them.
Yeah, they're real Garys. It's great.
They're beautiful. But neither
of us picked XCOM. I picked X4. X4 Foundations is a game in which you start and you have a little spaceship and then it says go. And you go, sorry? And he goes, yep, go. And you travel around space and you find these weird factions and everybody controls sections of space and you pick up random missions and you make money and you buy a new ship and then you call your wife over and you say, Dani, look at my cool new ship. This one's got, my old ship is sitting on top of my current ship. And she goes, yeah, really good. It's good work. And walks away. You fly around
I believe
space.
One thing was happening was, oh, look at my pilot. I just paid to have this pilot. And I say, oh, cool. How much do you pay him? Well, I paid this like 40 gold or whatever.
I paid 4,000 once and now I own him forever.
You bought this man?
I bought this man. And then you start like building space stations. And then you like, okay, last time I played X4 Foundations, we were listening to podcasts while I was playing. And the things I did in that last session was I took my turret-covered gunboat medium-sized frigate ship, and I completely retooled it so that it was running different turrets. I went on a protection mission while the ship was being attacked by alien fighters, so I jumped in and I tried to protect it on its way. While that was happening, I was building new elements on my space station, so I bought a new trading ship and I set it up purely to trade to get building materials for that station, while the other trading ship that I already own is traveling around space selling energy cells produced at that station with a energy production module. Meanwhile, I was also like trying to find a ship that was carrying silicon controlled by the enemy so I could scan it to do a mission for one of the factions who wants me to go to war with another one of the factions. And then someone said, hey, we're the secret faction that lives inside this faction. We think someone here is spilling our trade secrets. Can you go hunt them down and shoot them?
Again,
that will be a criminal act.
How much of this is like RNG-ish that this is happening?
A lot of it is RNG-ish, but a good amount of it is also set storylines and other stuff that happens that you can find and stumble upon, like working for the Hatikva Free Trade League, or having your boron scientist uncover a space station that's ripped through a wormhole into normal space. And then in one of the expansions, someone comes and says, that's our station. We're also from that wormhole. We need it back. It's weird and fun, and it's and slow paced and strange. You can buy a mining ship and just start making money mining silicon and then half of them are full of crystals that grow space fly eggs, but those are illegal, so you got to be careful who you sell them to.
Space
and you might
what?
get space fly eggs.
Oh.
It's a weird game. There's a lot going on. I don't have Kenshi on this list. Sorry, everybody. You should also play Kenshi, but that's unrelated. It's really great. It's very weird. It's incredibly complex and odd, and you have to keep relearning, like, wait, what button do I press to see this information about, and how do I check that this is, but it is silly and weird and great, and I love it.
Silly and weird and great is what I've gone with for my X, but in a
It's not
wholeheartedly different direction.
We really both should have put XCOM. You have to go play XCOM.
I'm pretty
right
sure
now. Play
that the
XCOM.
game that I put here was one of the first ones I put on my list, so I didn't even consider any other
No,
X's.
it's the same with me. That's the same. I went because I've been playing it so much. I just put X4, but I forgot. I didn't think about XCOM. Don't play the original XCOMs. They're really good, but they're too complex and weird and clunky. Just play XCOM.
I went with
know,
something
so
that has been
What's your X?
almost 20 years since we've played this one.
Ooh,
It's a Flash game, or thereabouts.
a Flash game that starts with X.
It is called Xerox.
Oh, Xerox from a puzzle perspective is brilliant.
Amazing puzzling.
Oh,
Again,
Dani,
just-
neither put Barbara as you. Sorry, go on.
I thought about it. B was a hard letter.
B was a hard letter.
So, how do we describe Xerox?
Xerox is a single concept puzzle game. It gives you a single type of puzzle. It gives you a few options of it, and I would say it's a dimensional puzzle.
That's fair, as it reduces dimensions.
It is basically asking you to pick a two-dimensional or to guess a two-dimensional object based on a series of one-dimensional snippets of that object.
Yeah, and it's called Xerox because the idea is that you are taking your 2D thing and you are photocopying it, and you are seeing what the photocopier
Yeah, you know how on a
sees.
photocopy it goes up the page and it copies it from the bottom to the top. It'll just go like, bzzzt, bzzzt, and that thing just runs up and down the machine and it just reads it from bottom to top. That is what Xerox is giving you. It is showing you from the bottom to the top, or top to bottom, whatever, of an object, just the snippets of what that would look like, and you have to sort of trace that in your brain.
For example, I think it was top to bottom rather than bottom to top, but for
Maybe.
example, you might just get the letter A. And let's have a think about the top of the letter A. It's basically, a single point. But then the next step down of the letter A is 2 dots. As it branches out, what the photocopier's line would see is 2 dots a little bit separated from each other.
I think specifically the A would be, it starts off as a single dot. That dot gets wider because for a while the A is still kind of connected. It's got thickness at the top.
I suppose.
And so you get like the line gets wider and then it starts to split.
It will separate.
Into two
and then
thick
suddenly
lines.
you'll see a single line
for like a
both
flash.
A's line.
Suddenly it's a full
and then you'll
line.
be 2 separate dots
And you're,
again.
what the heck are these 2 lines running away from each other and then suddenly connecting and then running away from? Oh, that's a letter
You have
A.
to activate a bizarre spatial section of
It's
your
really
brain.
cool.
And it will start out as letters and then it will turn into things like, oh, well, this one is a raindrop. And so
Yeah.
you have to try to, you've got to get these really incredible visuals in your head. And it's a brain exercise that
It's really
you
fun.
don't get to do in other ways. And we've had a wonderful time at it.
Yeah. It's
I think
really
that
great.
it would be a great addition to the daily games that people play online.
A daily Xerox would be very fun. Let's make it.
TM.
TM. Of a stolen idea. A stolen version of a stolen idea. That's how trademark works nowadays. And all the time.
We're only 2 letters left.
Only 2 letters left. Danny, what is your Y?
Now, assuming that I picked the correct one, Yu-Gi-Oh! World Champion Tournament 2004.
That's what I was going to go for. That is the Battle City Rules Yu-Gi-Oh! It is the best Yu-Gi-Oh! Game ever made. It is a Game Boy Advance game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so good.
Is it spectacular as far as story and
Yes.
game design and even battle design goes?
Yes.
Look, it's been better, but it's the best Yu-Gi-Oh! Game.
It's got the best rule set of Yu-Gi-Oh! You don't have to worry about sync summons and nonsense like that.
You can you can try to start a nice friendly battle with Yugi, and then suddenly one of the Shadow Hunters will interrupt you and say, "No, this is my battle now."
So it's based on the what is that, the second season of Yu-Gi-Oh! Battle
Yeah.
City, where you are in this big city and everyone's running around trying to beat each other at card games, and you pick random people, and the group of people you can pick expands, and every time you beat someone, if you beat them, you get like a new booster pack to start adding to your deck and changing it up and collecting new cards to
Standard Yu-Gi-Oh! Fare.
And the battles are really smooth and simple and easy. The rules are the best version of Yu-Gi-Oh!
I think that this is a game that could benefit from difficulty settings because I want it to get harder.
Yeah, but it's great. It is so fun, and it expands, and you're traveling, and you're looking for people, and it's really cool. It is the best Yu-Gi-Oh! Game, and I love it. I almost put it, but I didn't. I put Yakuza 0.
That's totally fair. I haven't played the Yakuza.
The Yakuza games are really fun. Yakuza 0, though, is one of the only ones that I've really gotten the whole way through. A lot of the other Yakuzas I eventually give up on because they're so long, but I really found Yakuza 0 the most engaging storyline, like the most where I really wanted to know what was happening next. Yakuza 1 I also finished. Yakuza 2 I think I didn't quite finish it, and Then I jumped straight to Like a Dragon, and I've
I
not finished with that either.
Yakuza 0, where is that in the timeline? Because the Yakuza game releases are not chronological.
It was released after a lot of. I think it was released after Yakuza.
I mean,
5
if
or
it's
6.
called Yakuza 0, of course it was
it's a
released
prequel.
after some.
But it was released when they started remaking all the Yakuza games.
Oh boy, okay.
So they did like the Yakuza Kiwami. That's actually the Yakuza I played. Yakuza Kiwami
Yes.
1, Yakuza Kiwami 2. These are the re-releases with different game like updated game mechanic and all this stuff and upgraded graphics. And Yakuza 0 was released as a prequel to the first one. But it was the first one I ever actually played. I played it not in order of release. I played it in like chronology order. So I played this prequel before I played the first one, and I really liked it. And they're all great. When they got to Like a Dragon, they changed from action games into turn-based games. But originally they're just action beat-em-up games. But they're fun and they're weird and they've got odd characters. They're just Japanese mafia crime stories that are overly silly and have 18 extra games within the game that you can play.
But they're
and
pretty
mini games about making money and having like Yakuza 0 has a club management mini game.
Oh, that's hilarious. That
and
game.
a real estate minigame where one of the characters becomes a real estate mogul and the other one becomes a club owner.
But of course,
Great.
the thing that I watched you play some amount of these games, and the thing that we both got into as our teamwork game was there is a substantial amount of mahjong that gets played.
So much mahjong.
Sometimes for storyline purposes, sometimes just for fun.
We learned how to play Japanese rules mahjong, Riichi mahjong.
Specifically so that we could
just
keep
to
doing
play it in this
It's
game.
like how I got into Final Fantasy X for the Blitzball.
It's so much fun and it's great. It's just a great game. They've got a sort of like a little bit of a Grand Theft Auto-y vibe to them, but not really. It's not that type of gameplay.
Not quite as much.
They're fun. They're silly and great, and you should. And I think Yakuza 0 is a really good place to start with the series.
They're relatively real in terms of obviously not the like shops and things that you go into, but just the Japan in general, right?
I was recently on a trip to Japan, and I went to Yokohama, a place where Yakuza Like a Dragon is set. It is explicitly set in Yokohama. And I was in Yokohama, and I went to a really lovely park. Someone recommended, someone who lived in Yokohama said, oh, you should go to this park. It's a really lovely place to hang out. And I went to the park, and I went, this is a really lovely place to hang out. Why does it feel familiar here? What is... Not quite, but I feel like I've been... Wait, nope, I've been here in a video game at home. That was the first time I've been to Yokohama. All right, that's why I feel familiar. I've been to the version of this park that exists in Yakuza Like a Dragon. All right, okay. I'm a loser.
I do love that. Like New York and the Spider-Man games.
But it's great. It's really fun and definitely worth playing, even if it is absurd.
And now we're up to Zed.
We both put the same Zed. It's the only Zed game that exists.
Did we indeed put the same one?
No. You put Zoo Tycoon 2, and I put Zoo Tycoon.
I've got lots of twos. Zoo Tycoon 2 is better.
Hey, everybody.
Turns out a lot of old games didn't just make sequels because they made money and therefore had more money thrown at them to make a sequel. They actually had improvements to make.
I would like to say, everybody, I don't care about Zoo Tycoon. I don't hate it. It's fine, but it's one of the... Look, Zed does not include Zelda. That's under L, right?
We've done that.
And except for Zelda 2, which is actually just
Sure.
called Zelda 2. But I've never played Zelda 2. I don't have any... It was the only Zed game I could literally find that I've played. Zed is very uncommon as the starting letter of games. And so I put Zoo Tycoon. It's fun. You run a zoo. Tycoon games are great. You have to buy animals. You have to build a zoo. Dani can tell you much more about Zoo Tycoon. Dani, what do you think about Zoo Tycoon? You've played a lot more than I have.
I have. I don't really, I don't even know how much of Zoo Tycoon 1 I've played. So I don't know how much I can tell you about that.
We've mostly played Zoo Tycoon 2.
But yeah, a lot of people opted for Roller Coaster Tycoon as their childhood
What, do they
tycoon
hate
game.
animals?
I mean, yeah, that was kind of the thing. A friend in primary school.
I did love Roller Coaster Tycoon.
When I was 10, I had a friend who had lots of Sims and Zoo Tycoon. And so she showed me all of these games, and that was where I got into them. And yeah, the idea of choosing roller coasters over animals was bizarre to me. I get it more now, but I still love
Zoo Tycoon is fun.
Animals.
You build a zoo, you enrich the animals' pens, you buy some elephants, stick them in there.
You still have to do the whole thing of, okay, I need a zookeeper, I need a garbage man, I'm running a business here,
I need a mascot dressed as a hippo.
You got to read your customers' thoughts, and they say, I'm bored of African wild dog number 3.
And then you kill African wild dog number 3.
Thing is, you always start with African wild dogs because they are cheap and plentiful at the beginning, and they breed like crazy. You have too many African wild dogs.
You gotta sell them. You gotta sell them and make some money. This is wild dog breeding camp. They're great.
And then, of
Tycoon
course,
games are
there's
always
a DLC or whatever that means you can have dinosaurs. And, of course, animals, if you haven't done your maintenance right, animals will break out of their pens
The
and go on
Stegosaurus
rampages.
is loose.
It's great.
Yeah, it's a pretty good game.
They're RTSs, basically.
Yeah, real-time. They're RTTs. They're real-time tycoons.
Everyone should play a tycoon game of some sort. Whatever your fancy. Whether it's roller coasters, whether
there's
it's
a whole
animals.
series that we haven't checked out of newer tycoon games.
So many tycoon
the
games.
2-point hospital and 2-point campus.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're any fun. I think we own one of those. We should check them out.
Yeah, the idea is, will hospital interest me enough? It might. Depending on how much hospitaling you get to do.
There'll be a mod where you can turn all the patients into animals. Then you'll be fine. So that's the end of our list, everybody. That's a bunch of games. We did N to Z.
All of these games, most of these games, special to us in some way or another.
If you've played every one of these games, send us an email and we'll give you $1 million.
Oh, yeah. Give us your checklists and see which ones you have yet to play, and we'll tell you what order you should play them in.
Yeah, the first one's the one that isn't on the list. You should all go play XCOM. All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. It's bonus content. I hope you're having fun.
We know it's not much.
It's not escape rooms. We'll get back to it soon. This is in mid-series, between seasons is where we are. So don't worry about it. We'll get there.
We could have done nothing.
We could have done nothing. We don't owe you anything.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
We owe you everything.
So much.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. I hope you enjoyed another bonus episode. Thank you, Dani, for recording with me.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for doing most of the talking. You're much more eloquent about all of this than I am. I know that. Oh, the dog's getting involved.
Just
Hello.
as our dog starts to get bothered by us. All right, we'll see you next week with more nothing,
One more
I think.
bonus?
One more nothing.
All right.
And then we're into the new season.
Let's brainstorm what that nothing's going to be.
All right, bye, everybody.